that you are fine. This week we will study the third lesson about plants, and we will speak about the life cycle of a plant that we have taken together during the last online session. So what will be covered in the class this week? We will finish the third lesson that's about the life cycle of a plant. Let's revise what have we covered last session. Last session we have spoken about the life cycle of the bean plant. And I told you that any plant starts with a seed. Okay, so here we have the bean seeds. Okay, and if you remember the videos that we watched together, and it showed you how can we grow a bean plant at home, that you can bring a jar and you put tissue inside the jar, and you can put the bean seeds and you add water to this tissue, or you can add water first and after this you put the bean seeds. After 5 days you will see that that is the bean plant starts to grow, and it becomes free and it comes out of the jar. Okay, here this is what we have studied or discussed together during the last online session. Okay, we said that we can grow bean at home. Let's take a look on how it can grow. Here it's told you that we can get a seed and put it in a soil, and the seed needs sunlight, water, and nutrients to help it grow. After this, the seed grows through the process of germination. And we said this last time when we said germinate means begin to grow or start to grow. Repeat after me: germinate, germinate, germinate. Germinate means begin to grow. Germinate means begin to grow. Okay, so the bean seeds start to grow because we have the process of germination, and by the end we will have stem and more leaves and more flowers of the bean plant. And this was the end. Okay, so how can we grow a bean plant at home? You can bring a jar, put tissue inside this jar, add some water. After this you can put the bean seeds. When you put the bean seeds inside this jar, you will leave it for 5 days and you will find that it starts to grow or it germinates. So germinates means begins to grow. Germinate means begins to grow. And this was the life cycle of a bean plant that we have discussed last session. What I want you to take care of, the meaning of the word life cycle. Life cycle, all parts of plant's life. Life cycle, all parts of plant's life. Life cycle, all parts of plant's life. Germinate, start to grow. Germinate, start to grow. Germinate, start to grow. So life cycle, all parts of plant's life. Life cycle, all parts of plant's life. Life cycle, all parts of plant's life. Germinate, start to grow. Germinate, start to grow. Germinate, start to grow. Okay, Miss Angie, what will you give us today, or what will the session be about today or this week? As we said, we will study this week the third lesson that's about the life cycle only. Okay, type. Today we will speak about, we have finished the life cycle of a bean plant, but now we will start with the life cycle of a pine tree. The pine tree, it is like the Christmas tree. Okay, but the scientific name for this tree, it's called pine tree. How does the pine tree grow? The pine tree has what's called cones. This is called cones. Cones. Repeat after me. Cones. يبقى pine trees have pine cones. Pine trees have pine cones. Okay. and the pine cones have seeds inside them. يبقى the pine trees have pine cones, and inside these pine cones we have the seeds for the pine tree. Okay, so it has pine seeds. So the pine trees have pine cones, and inside these pine cones you will find seeds. Type. We should get these cones or the seeds and we should put them in the soil. After this cones or the seeds that are inside the pine cones, they will start to grow and it will become a small pine tree, and after this it will become adult pine tree. That's it. It's very easy. Very easy. The life cycle of a pine tree starts with pine cones, small tree, adult tree. One more time. Pine cones, small tree, adult tree. So what is the life cycle of a pine tree? Pine cones, small tree, adult tree. One more time. Pine cones, small tree, and adult tree. And this is the life cycle of a pine tree. We have discussed the life cycle of the bean plant, and you watched a video about how can we grow bean seeds at home. And here, this is the second life cycle that we will study. It's a life cycle of a pine tree. How does it start? It starts with pine cones, small tree, adult tree. Pine cones, small tree, adult tree. One more time. Pine cones, small tree, adult tree. So pine trees have pine cones. Pine trees have pine cones. Pine cones, small tree. After a while it will become a small tree, and by the end it will be an adult tree. The last thing that I want to speak about for today, he wants to tell you that plants look like their parents. Okay, like you. Or if you look at any baby, when he is or she is born, you will find that all the babies are alike. Oh my God, this baby looks like this baby looks like the other one. But after a while, the babies will start to look like their parents. Yani if you look at yourself, you will find that you look like your mom or you look like your dad. The same here for the plants, because the plants are living things. Plants are living things. Okay, so we have here also the same, like we have it with the animals, with the people or humans. We have the same here with the plants. We have the plants, they look like their parents. Yani even if we have them like seeds at the beginning and they don't look like their parents, but by the end when they start to grow and when they become small tree and adult tree, they will look like their parents. Okay, like you, when you were born at the beginning you don't look like your mom or dad, but after a while when you start to grow, you will find that people start to tell you, oh, you look like your mom, oh, you look like your dad. So the same here we have for the plants. Plants look like their parents. Plants look like their parents. Plants look like their parents. Okay, so let's revise. What have we discussed in this lesson? We have spoken about the life cycle of a bean plant, and I showed you before how can we grow bean at home. Next we said life cycle, all parts of plant's life or all stages of plant's life. Germinate, start to grow. Germinate, start to grow. The new part that we will speak about is the life cycle of a pine tree, which is the Christmas tree. It starts with pine cones, small tree, adult tree. Pine cones, small tree, adult tree. So pine trees have pine cones. Pine trees have pine cones. You will find the seeds inside these pine cones. You will find seeds inside these pine cones. So the life cycle of a pine tree, it starts with pine cones, small tree, and adult tree. Pine cones, small tree, and adult tree. Okay, the last thing that I want to speak about, that I said that plants look like their parents. If they don't look like their parents at the beginning, they will start to look like their parents when they germinate or when they start to grow. Okay, thanks grade 2 for watching, and if there is a homework or any sheet that will be answered in the science workbook, I will send a note on the SMS to inform you about what will we answer or what will we do as a homework for this week. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your vacation and see you later. Bye.